Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Mike's 1970 F250 again. People seem to really like it, so we're going to get it out on the road, give you an idea of what this thing looks like out in the real world, driving around. We'll do some in-cab shots, talk about it a little bit, and have some fun. Let's fire it up. It might sound a little different. We did put some different resonators on it and played around with the exhaust a little bit. Every job has its perks, but this is definitely one of them. Forced to drive these things around for a couple hundred miles. Just trying to get all those little things dialed in. These transmissions are basically self-tuning, the 10 speeds are, so they say it takes 1 to 200 miles before they are really shifting perfect. I feel like you have so much more visibility in these trucks compared to new stuff. You sit up high, you can see way over the hood better. Everybody that sees this truck has a memory of one with their grandpa or their dad, or they had one in high school. And I would say more so than any other vehicle that we've done, people have those types of stories. It's pretty fun to see. It definitely contributes to why these trucks have gotten so popular.
Was the lugging issue in that first video that we did just a tuning thing?
Yeah, it was mass airflow sensor related, so I think I might have even said that in that video. It was my suspicion, but we did have it tuned by a guy just a town over, and yeah, that took care of that. We do have a different issue though now that we're trying to figure out. This has got a vacuum modulated intake runner adjustment. Basically, it changes the length of the intake runners, and for some reason it keeps throwing a code, and we're not exactly sure why. So we gotta get that figured out. It looks like mechanically it's working fine, so I just plan to make another trip down to the tuner and have him plug into it and see if it's actually moving and the computer's recognizing the movement or what we need to do there. I don't really notice any adverse driving, but it has a check engine light, so we gotta get it figured out. It's amazing how much different it sounds. We put together a 50 F1 truck with a Coyote in it, and it had dual exhaust all the way at the back, long tube headers, and MagnaFlow mufflers. And that truck was at our shop when Mike was talking about doing this project, so I started it up for him, and we all agreed that we really liked the sound of it. So it was like, okay, we kind of have a 2.5 inch all the way at the back, MagnaFlow mufflers. That's what we're going to do on this truck too, because we know how it sounds. But we did it on this, and it did not sound the same, quite a bit different. And the only thing we can think is that, well, two things. The pipes go out the side of the truck on this truck, and on the other truck they both went out the back. The other thing was the muffler was placed farther forward in this truck, farther back in the other. The other one was like all the way at the tailpipe. Those two things together made it so much louder and so much like raspier. I personally think the biggest thing was that it was side exit. So when you're standing on the side of the truck, you're only really hearing the one side of the cylinders. Because, and the reason I say that is the fix for it was we put an H pipe in and resonators. We did the resonators first, and it quieted it down, but it still had that snap, crackle, pop kind of a tone that it wasn't fitting for the truck. It was just kind of annoying, to be honest. And as soon as we put that H pipe in, it like balanced the exhaust out and got tones from both sides, and it sounds way better. It sounds like we want it to. It was cool because we didn't have to cut a whole bunch of the exhaust out. We were basically able just to put that in the system that was already there. The two pipes were right next to each other. There was room for a resonator and an H pipe, so we didn't have to go backwards, and we were able to see that progression of the sound and how it changed. So sometimes you just kind of have to do that until you're happy with it, especially with exhaust. I mean, there's only so much you can do it other than putting it together and starting it sometimes. And then the Coyote Bronco that we did, because we had 3 of these Coyote engines kind of back to back to back, and the Bronco sounded much more similar to this truck, but that was 2 into 1 and then a single 3-inch out the back. So I think combining the 2 sides together is really what makes this engine sound good for this classic type of application. You know, there's cars that it would have sounded good in, but it just wasn't right for this truck. It's 75 miles on it now. I think this is probably the fastest I've driven it yet. With the lift on this, they have to bend the I-beams and put the correct amount of caster in it. And the alignment guy that we've used forever said it came out perfect. He's never seen one actually come out this nice. Usually when people lift them, the alignment gets all screwed up and it really creates other problems, but he's happy with it. I always notice when you're driving something, well, one, that you're not used to driving, and two, when you're kind of tense, the more you can just freaking relax and just drive it, it gets easier. I always find myself like the first 50 miles of test driving these things, I'm a little bit more like watching everything, and then after 100 miles or so, it's a little bit more just like this, a little more comfortable. The wheel isn't quite straight. It's just a little bit like just turn to the left when I'm going straight. Super small amount, but it's right on the edge. Fortunately, this front end that we bought, it came with adjustable tie rods basically on both sides. Originally, it only had one adjustable side, so you had to. It was a lot more difficult to screw with that. I noticed just when we were doing some of the rolling shots that it got up to 210, which is normal operating temp for a modern engine. And then those brushless fans kicked on, and it dropped so fast down to 190. Comes back up a little bit. It seems to be cooling really effectively. I do kind of want to plug into it and see like what the transmission temps have been doing. You can see in our other video underneath where we've got the Duraley transmission cooler with its own fan and everything. So I'm confident it's working. Just kind of always a curiosity almost. Just put a little bit bigger tires on it, the 10-speed, and what kind of heat's it building. Always something to be aware of, some transmission temps. Some of these older Roadster builds that we see, granted they're smaller, they're lighter, they don't have the big tires, and they literally would just run a jumper right around no transmission cooler, just tie a bolt together, just let it pump internally, put a finned oil pan on it. It's good. What's funny is they're probably right. It was good. Anytime you put a stall converter in it, this doesn't have a stall converter, it's just stock 10-speed. But anytime you start doing that kind of stuff, you gotta pay attention to everything going on around it. One thing that we've started to do is, I think it's Racetronics makes these temperature strips. We'll go out, put some, well, even before a car leaves, we'll put some on a transmission that isn't computer controlled, so it doesn't have a temperature readout, and we'll put them on the pan or on the cooler, and it changes color up to the maximum temp that the transmission's ever gotten to. So if we go out and drive it, we can check it that way, or if we just send it out and it comes back and it's overheated, and it gives us just a little bit more information. Those are kind of little tools that we really like to use. The more data like that we can easily collect, the easier it is to diagnose things and fix things, because as you know, we're making 1,000 different pieces work together, and we got to make sure they're all doing their job. You know what really makes this truck? The Gen 4 Coyote engine cover tires. I will say, for a big truck, long bed and everything, it rides pretty good. What are your thoughts, Tyler? How's it feel to ride?
She's pretty comfy.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wait till I review the footage and we'll see how shaky my hand is.
That'll tell you. How does it ride? I'm like, it rides really good.
It's great.
Yeah, the camera's just like bouncing. Everybody's gonna be like, man, this guy is full of shit. I didn't think, honestly, at first I would like the blue gauges, just because I was kind of worried it would look like analog, or like something that would have done early 2000s to make it look good. But with the paint, and it just actually looks really good, and they're really easy to see even with sunglasses on. They're lit up just perfect. I definitely am a fan of like the sweeping gauges like this that just mimic the original design, but definitely are upgraded. I feel like I'm still babying it too. Gotta put a little more miles on it before we get too crazy. We need that like high horsepower original Survivor patina type build to really light some tire fires.
Yeah.
I feel like to do a burnout in this truck, the tires need to be sticking out 6 inches past the body with a stack and a plume of smoke. You know what would be great? If people started to tell us what they wanted to see. Sure, we can look at the views and that kind of stuff, but yeah, what do you want to see? Maybe you don't want to see anything. Maybe you're just done. Well, thanks for watching, and per usual, if you like it, If you have a question, ask it. Check back for more videos.
about that, but it might have been.
No.
Oh no, we're getting increasingly more worried about that.
Yeah, but it would have been a good shot. Just the camera just. You can pull over here and get some bales of hay. Well, hopefully you can catch that grandma driving by saying, "Nice truck."
Nice truck.
Ah, thank you. Dang, that was even a Chevy guy.
Oh no, you got a Dodge guy and a Chevy guy now.
Shoot. We're so inclusive. You did the Ford wave, like, hey, you good?
Yeah.